can you build a 9-second car under $10,000? Unless you cut a lot of corners and skip safety.
$10,000, 2 months, and compete at the Cleat Outlaws Top 10 list. But we failed, and failed big time. In this video, we're pulling back the curtains. We're gonna find out every single penny that was spent, every single hurdle that we came across with, as well as when are we actually gonna see Dirty Red hit the asphalt. That's right, we got a name for it. Welcome to Shop Talking Street Food. Well, before I started this channel, I was in between careers. And I said to myself, and I talked to my wife, and we came to the conclusion of giving this channel full-on attention for about 6 months to a year. When I planned to build this truck for the Cleat Outlaws Top 10 list, I didn't take in consideration summer break for my kids. That is why I'm here in my car right now. I'm picking up my kid from summer camp at his school. I have 2 boys, and being that I'm the one that's currently putting full attention to the channel, I'm the one that has the most free time. So I have to take care of the kids while they're off school. So with that being said, I don't have much time to put into the truck. That, and combine it with the time frame that I have from the current storage facility where the truck is being stored at, I can only work on the truck there from 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. So between that short period of time of being able to work on the truck and having taken care of the kids, the last month, which is the month of July, has been extremely packed and not into working in the truck. So that, in all honesty, has been the biggest hurdle that I have with the truck, not being able to work on it due to personal life still happening. Now, the other biggest hurdle that I had was actually location. Let me explain.
It all started here in the garage. Well, actually in the driveway. And when I brought the car over, we had about 2 weeks of full-on working on the truck. It was great because I was able to come home, do what I needed to do with the kids, come right outside, work on the truck, come back inside, then come back outside at night as soon as I put them to bed. You know, the dynamic worked. The problem was that I got into a little problem with the association. They went ahead and asked of me not to work on the truck as it's not aesthetically pleasing for the association, and it's not allowed to be a full-on mechanic shop out in the driveway. I would have to put it in the garage. As you can tell, I have no space. So what do we had to do? We had to find a place to put the truck that would allow me to work on the truck whenever I pleased, that was safe for the truck because we were putting a pretty penny on the truck, as well as where it was actually accessible. Luckily, we had found one. We found a farm not too far from here that the owner of had a few acres of its land was rented out for storage, for vehicle storage. So that he had RVs, buses, businesses that had their business vehicles there, etc. And he allowed me to work on the truck whenever I pleased, day or night. So that went all great until time to put the engine in. We were sitting at a farm. The truck was sitting on grass/dirt. So obviously you couldn't hoist a 600-pound engine to the car in the grass nor on the dirt. So I had to make a decision and search again for another facility that will allow me to work on the truck. After trial and errors, I was actually able to find a good storage facility that would allow me to work on the truck without a problem. Now, there's a setback with this. Because it's a storage facility, I'm only allowed to work on it from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. The storage facility took me about a week to find. I went through a lot of them, and none of them would allow me to work on the truck, mainly because it wasn't registered. But now it is. But until we've actually found it. So it took me about a week to find one, and I did, and luckily it's very close to my house. And, I'm able to go and come as I pleased, but we're still in summertime. So right now, I'm still dealing with the kids. Now, let me take you over to the facility, and we'll talk about the truck, and we'll talk about every single penny that has been put into it, and also what's going to happen with Dirty Red. Funny story about this car is that I wasn't looking to buy this particular S10. I was actually just looking to buy the turbo kit off the guy that owned this S10. I had already planned and set up a date to go pick up another S10 that had an LS swapped running on a 4L60. And I wanted to put this turbo kit into that truck. Now, funny part is that when I asked the guy for this turbo kit, which he was selling for $2,500, I asked him, what other parts do you have for the S10? Because I'm purchasing an S10 with an LS swap. I asked him if he had a rear end for it, and he actually went ahead and told me, well, how about if I sell you the whole shell? And he'd send me a list of the parts that will include on the price for it. He told me he wanted $8,000 for it. So I talked him out a little bit down to $7,000 for it. Now, here is a list of absolutely everything that came in the deal with this truck. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the biggest things that came on the truck as part of the deal for this car, okay? So we're looking at the truck. We spent $7,000 for it. It came with absolutely everything you see on the list here on the screen. But the biggest thing was obviously the turbo kit. Not only that, it was an 8.8-inch rear end already installed in it, as well as a set of heads that had already dual valve springs on it, the intake manifold that was from a Trailblazer SS, which is actually the better version of the plastic intake manifolds, and as well as a comp cam for it already. He also threw in the crank that he ran, which was in perfect condition. The reason why he threw that in is because it had the ARP crank bolt in it already. So that's what everything that came in the truck. I paid $7,000 for everything you see on the screen right now. That is a ridiculous deal, including the truck. Now, let's talk about the expensive part and the one that we actually missed the mark on big time. Here is everything that we spent money on when it comes to parts. Some of these parts we didn't have to buy, but we ended up upgrading them due to either ease or just for future plannings. I'll go over those in a second. As you can tell here, we spent a total of $8,756 in parts. Now, this does not include the random miscellaneous things such as renting the trailer to move the car twice. That means for the first time when I took it from my house over to the farm, and then from the farm over to here. That's 2 rentals. That does not include also the registration fee of the truck, for example. That was an additional $350. So there's a lot of little things that I'm not including in this bill, in this price right here, due to the fact that it might not apply to you. Now, as far as the parts that we bought just for the sake of upgrading and for future references, these are the parts that we ended up getting. The cage. So in order to run the Cleat Outlaws top 10 list, it's a 9-second all the way up to a 10-second index. It changes every single race. So for that, we must have a 10-point roll cage, or at least an 8.5 cert cage, which is a 10-point. So we bought the cage coming at, you're looking at a $440 for the cage. That's just the cage alone. That's not installation. Now, luckily, I have a friend who is a really good welder, and he agreed to sponsor the install on the cage once the truck is up and running. So thankfully, I don't have to pay for a welder to come in and actually weld the whole 10-point cage in. Now, the other big expense that we have here is the converter. So with the converter, the truck did come with the Power Glide and an 8-inch converter along with a flex plate. Now, when the truck when I was doing the truck at the house, I was going through everything. I had a little bit of free time, and I decided to go to ATF so they can tell me what kind of converter do I have. As soon as they saw it, they're like, nope, that's junk. You're not gonna do what you actually want to do, which is get off the line on a foot brake and actually run a good time. You're gonna run through that converter real quick. So they told me, they suggested to me to get a new converter. That way we can actually do it for the setup and the racing that I'm looking to do, as well as for peace of mind. So I went ahead and we spent a total of $1,350 on a brand new converter that included a flex plate as well as all the hardware for it. That took about 2 weeks to get. We also had to, because of my mistake, end up buying an ATI bell housing for it, which ATF had to go ahead and install. So they had to cut the original bell housing off and install the new one. Now, they hooked me up with not just installing that, but when they did that, they went ahead and actually opened up the whole transmission and double checked everything. They also gave me an upgraded input shaft. It's not a turbo shaft, but it's still an upgrade. It's a lot thicker than the original one that fits that fits the converter that they had built for me. Now, they also realized when they took everything apart that the wedding band, which is the band that secures the input shaft into the pump, was all kinds of messed up. So they went ahead and replaced that band, and then once they did the new bell housing, did the input shaft, went over the whole transmission, they actually went ahead and put it on their engine dyno and made sure they ran through the gears and made sure that the transmission was working flawlessly, which it is. Now, the reason why we ended up getting a new bell housing was because if you follow the videos, I broke the bell housing twice because of a mistake I made by installing the spacer on the flex plate. Go look at the video so you can see the in-depth of exactly what happened. Now, another big expense that we have here is our beautiful Haltech standalone system. That alone came out to be $1,679. That's for a Haltech Rebel unit. That Rebel unit, the reason I upgraded it was because there are not that many Mega Squirts tuners out there. Now, this truck came with a Mega Squirt on, which obviously it's a decent unit. It's a great starter unit, but for what I'm planning on doing with this truck, it wasn't gonna cut it, at least not for my peace of mind, as well as for the future plans of this truck. So we went ahead and upgraded it to a Rebel Haltech unit. Now, this unit was amazing because it was a plug and play unit. So all I had to do was just run a few wires on it and just plug everything in the harness. I'm telling you guys, if you guys are out on the market for a standalone for your LS, go with a Haltech. You cannot go wrong. The packaging is amazing. Not just the packaging, but also the ease of installation. And it has a wizard which it literally turns on as soon as you finish the wizard, and you have a base map tune for your setup, for an LS engine at least. Now, let's go over the engine itself. As you can tell, even though it is a stock rod and piston combination, we upgraded the bearings, we upgraded the rod bolts, we upgraded all the gaskets. We did the truck came with ARP head bolts, so we reused those. We also got every new seal on it. This engine is essentially brand new. A new water pump on it. I mean, everything is in there brand new. Still stock piston and rod combination. It does have dual springs on it, on the heads, which are 876 heads with dual springs, brand new head gaskets. And the heads actually were included already in the deal for the truck. What we did with the heads was just send them out to the machine shop so they can deck them, clean them, and make sure that all the valves are not leaking. So we have a leaking free heads with dual springs on them, and obviously a brand new head gaskets on them and ARPs. So the engine setup is, like I said earlier, it is essentially brand new, just with stock pistons and rods. The other big thing that we did was the interior. So if you guys noticed on the first videos, it had a big wooden box that it had all the wiring in there, along with the standalone and no dash. So we ended up getting actually 2 aluminum dashes, because the first one that I got was to actually I put all the gauges that the truck came with, and there were about 7 analog gauges in there. Now I said to myself, I have a Rebel unit right there. Why not get a screen and just run everything off the one single screen? We ended up getting a PowerTune 7-inch digital CAN bus screen. That screen is beautiful, works flawlessly. It's all set up, it's done. And because of all the holes that I drilled on the first dash, I had to go get another dash. So we ended up getting another one. The truck cleaned up inside, amazing. I re-ran all the wires, made sure to secure all the power wires that are coming from the rear battery setup all the way to the front. So everything is nice and clean. Those are the very expensive parts on the truck. Then some maintenance on it. We also went ahead and upgraded the brakes. So we got, we have, which one do we have? We have power stop brakes. So the brake kit came with the pads and the slaughter and drilled rotors. We also ended up getting Russell Performance brake lines. So they're braided brake lines. And that's as far as we go into the suspension, because we already had Bilstein suspension shocks on it, and we just wanted to make sure that we were able to stop. So we upgraded the brakes, got brand new brakes, got brand new bearings on it as well. So everything in the braking system is good to go. The truck also did come with line lock system on it, so we are good to go in that department. Essentially, that's the rundown of everything we spent. You can see it here on the list. Everything, every single penny that we spent on the car is right there on that list. If you want to press pause on the video, go over everything, because I priced it individually for you guys so you can take a look at it. Now, what are the plans for Dirty Red? Dirty Red is going to try to attempt, obviously, the Cleat Outlaws Top 10 list. That is the main goal of this truck, is to be on the Cleat Outlaws Top 10 list and run with those guys. My dream is to run against Lumberjack. That will be amazing. That will be a success just by itself, if we're able to get on the list and get to the spot where Cletus is sitting and run Lumberjack. I don't care if I win or lose, I just want to run Lumberjack. Now, we don't have a power goal, we don't have an ET goal. All we want to do is get and make it to the list. Also, I would like to run some events. I would like to go to FL2K. I would like to go to some cash days that are local. I would like to get the truck dialed in so we can actually get some good content in it. That's the plan for it. Maybe down the road, we'll do a giveaway on it. Depending on how the channel grows, we might do a giveaway on the truck so we can start a new project. That is essentially everything that you need to know about this project that we have right now. All we're missing is to finish putting up the transmission, put some miles on the engine, and go testing. Hopefully within this month we'll be able to go ahead and get the car on the road and finish it off. Now, for the big thing, we missed the mark. Yes, we did. We didn't do it in 2-month time frame due to what I explained at the beginning of the video. And we went over budget. So the budget was $10,000. We are sitting at around $16,000, give or take. So obviously, that begs the question: can you build a 9-second car under $10,000? It's up to you to find out. I couldn't, but that's because I wanted to make it nice. If I didn't change the things and upgraded parts, we'll probably be right around the $11,000, maybe $12,000 mark. But remember, guys, we upgraded to a cage, Haltech. We got a digital screen. We also went ahead and actually did a full build on the engine. Whereas if you just get a junkyard engine and not do any bearings or anything like that, you can get away with it for a short period of time. And we also got a brand new converter. So Those 5 things that I just mentioned alone are around $4,000. So maybe you could be, give or take, a 9-second truck in the $11,000 to $12,000 range. I don't know if under 10,000, unless you cut a lot of corners and skip safety. Subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, like and share this video, and I will see you guys as soon as we get to working on this truck again. Till then, talk to you guys later.